All right. All right. All right. What is good? What is good? What is good? Ladies and gentlemen, of course you know who it is. Yours truly, Dr. Mike, back again, once again with another classic overdue live stream for my people today. It's been a hell of a good day today, and I'm appreciative of everybody who comes through and captures and tunes in and, how can I say this, participates in the chat today. Time check officially about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, about 7:30 p.m. over there in Central, roughly about 5:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Shouting out to everybody, and of course in the Philippines, 8:30 in the a.m. And I hope that everybody's having such a blessed day today. Just happy to have all of you guys in the building. Thank you guys for showing love. And today we got a topic for that ass. And I'm not one to mince words, and I damn sure ain't one to sit there and talk shit and go on and on without telling you guys what we're doing today. So right now, I need you guys to understand this. For first timers coming to the Philippines, next timers coming to the Philippines, I don't care if this is your fifth time coming into the Philippines. Let me make this one abundantly clear. You need to check in your first world mentality at the airport when arriving in the Philippines. I repeat, check in your first world mentality at the airport before coming to the Philippines. Now, this can take on a whole bunch of different meanings. This could definitely be very complex and layered in its essence, but we're just going to focus on it and we're going to see exactly where this particular topic goes. All right. When I say check in your first world mentality at the airport and leave it there, I mean check it in when you hop off that plane in the Philippines, leave that bitch at baggage claim, don't put your name on it, and just leave it there. Don't come back for it, leave it there. All right. Let me tell you guys a quick story, real quick. See, it's very rare that I come across a lot of foreigners in Davao City, at least people that I choose to interact with. Okay. I don't really interact with a lot of foreigners. I know it sucks. I try to bridge the gap between foreigners and the Philippines, but sometimes, you just can't help everybody, okay? So, I was having a conversation with a foreigner at a coffee shop. And the entire time me and this guy were talking, the entire time, it was a good 30-minute conversation. The entire time, he was complaining about everything that was wrong with the Philippines. All right. Every single thing that he could think of, he was complaining about the Philippines. He was like, oh my God, the service here sucks. I can't get anything done. I went to immigration the other day. I was there for half a day. I was this, it was that. And then I had to go, I wanted to go get some food, but I was standing in the line at McDonald's for almost a half an hour. He went at lunchtime in a busy area. So you kind of have to wait. And he was just going on and on and on and on and on. And I'm like, bruh, I was like, why did you come here to the Philippines in the first place? He was like, yeah, I met a young lady and, we're talking and we're having a good conversation and everything like that. But, I already have a ticket to fly back in the next few weeks or so because, he's just going to do his 29-day visa. So, I met a girl, didn't quite work out. I'm just going around and meeting other females and stuff like that. He's like, but I promise I ain't never coming back here, blah, blah, blah. He was just going on his rant and his rave. And then it got to the point where he was trying to be disrespectful to the lady that was like serving him. Like, because we were in the same area. We weren't at the same table, but you know how you could talk across tables because there won't nobody else in there but us and like a chosen few people. Don't want too many. He wasn't loud, but he was being condescending and a jackass towards the young lady who was serving us. And I was like, man, I said, in back of my head, I'm like, bro, you might want to bump that ticket up. You might want to bump up that ticket. Maybe you could leave a little bit sooner because I feel like you're going to lose your mind if you hear any longer. I was trying to be respectful to him, but also encouraging him that he probably should get the fuck out because he looked like he was about to lose it. And, we come across guys like that all the time, the people who extremely hate the Philippines, but they feel like they're stuck. He felt like one of those guys. Even though he was leaving, he felt like he was stuck, or he at least acted like he was stuck. So he was just on it. And then he was having a conversation with me. He was like, man, if we were in the United States, man, we wouldn't be having these problems. If we were here, man, we wouldn't be having these problems. I went to this country last year, or he said a couple of months ago, and I had the time of my life, man. Everything was on point. Everything was moving. I was like, bruh, one thing that you can't do is you can't compare the United States or a first world country to a third world country. There are going to be some things that you have to sacrifice. I'll tell you right now, there are a ton of things about the Philippines that, kind of get on my nerves and irritate me. And I think that I'm not the only one. There are a couple of things in the Philippines that could irritate a lot of us, okay? But me being who I am, I try to find the best situation, and I always try to find the good. And as long as the good outweigh the bad, I'm good. But for most guys who are first timers coming into the country, they always have the inability to understand the fact that the Philippines is not the United States. The Philippines is not Canada. It is not Australia. It is not the United Kingdom. It is not London. It is not Wales. It is not none of that shit. The Philippines is what the Philippines is. And for people who don't know how to check in that first world mentality and understand that everything that you are used to in the first world, the way that things are run in the first world, are not ran the same way in the third world, until you can understand that, or until you can learn to dissect and separate the two, you're always going to be fucked up whenever you choose to travel into countries that don't necessarily tickle your pickle, or something that doesn't fit your mindset. And the guy was just on this rant and this rave and stuff like that. And I was just like, man, sometimes, you know how people just talk too damn much and they give you a headache? Yes, I know I talk too much. I'm sorry, guys. That's just my mentality. My apologies. I can't help it. I talk too much. Sometimes I get on people's nerves. But you know how people just talk too much negativity about something and you kind of just want to tell them to shut the fuck up? I was very close to that. Luckily, he left. And again, I'm not one to be the defender of worlds and shit. I'm not going to stand up and say, oh, you never should talk about the Philippines like that. I mean, I respect the place and I know my role where I am. And because I know my role and where I fit in, I get in where I fit in, and I live a very, very good life. I live a fantastic life. But for the newbies coming in, they going to say some shit to the wrong person and get fucked up. I'll tell you right now, they going to say the wrong thing to the wrong person and get fucked up. And I'll tell you right now, how many people are going to care if you go missing in the Philippines? That's my question to you. If you pop off at the wrong one, and you know Filipinos got large ass families. I don't care if you disrespect the female. She got brothers, cousins, uncles that can fuck you up. Or you talk back to a Filipino guy. How many people in the Philippines are actually going to miss you? Probably 0 to none. I've known foreigners that have gone missing in the Philippines and people just don't care. The only time they care is if somebody actually reports it. But even if they report it, like, oh, like let's say you know, your name is Johnny and mommy hasn't heard from you in a couple of weeks or something. So, you know, Johnny's mommy calls and says, oh, I haven't heard from Johnny in a month and he was staying at this hotel last. Has anybody heard from Johnny? They're going to be like, oh, Johnny checked out. AKA checked out could mean a multitude of different things. All right. So I feel like when you guys come to the Philippines, you got to understand, simply cut and plain, cut and dry. Philippines may not be the place for you, but at least while you're in it, you know, respect it. And you know, it's like beating a fucking, it's like, I hate saying this because we say it so much. So I'm trying to come up with a new way to say it, but I can't. It's almost like saying you got to understand your culture, got to understand where the hell you at. Right? You got to understand that this ain't your place. You know, this is not your home. And, you know, the whole freedom of speech thing that we have in the United States, please leave that. Definitely leave your freedom of speech at the check-in at the damn airport. Leave it there in baggage claim and don't come back to claim it, okay? Don't put your name on it. Don't put your contact information on it. Leave that shit there, because I'm telling you right now, freedom of speech in the Philippines is something that does not exist. All right? That may be a constitutional right here in the United States, but don't think that the Philippines follows the United States Constitution. You just shut the fuck up about things that you don't like. You shut the fuck up about things that you can't help, and you just enjoy the country for what it is. Now, a lot of people say, oh, Mike, that's the pot calling the kettle black, because you did that video a while back about where you were talking about, you know, the Philippines and how it needs to clean up the trash and stuff like that. People are going to come at me like that, but let me keep it 100 with you. Me as a foreigner, I wasn't talking shit. I was being real. I was like, you know, if we could take care of this, would be good. I wasn't saying anything negative. I was just saying that it may be a turnoff. That's all I was saying. But then people got in their feelings. You know, everybody's panties got in a bunch, and everybody wanted to come at your boy sideways and everything like that. And I was like, cool, you could do that. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. You know, sensitivity is fucking on an all-time high, man. Even foreigners were trying to come at me sideways with that bullshit. More so Filipinos. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is this. I know my place. All right? Got to know your role and you got to know your place. Thinking that you can come out of pocket and say whatever you want to, like disrespectful about the president of the Philippines or disrespectful about this, that, and the other. In case you didn't know, in that video, I didn't come out and specifically say anything bad about specific anything. I just made a point and an assessment and an evaluation. And then, people got out sideways. But ultimately, I want to put this into a perspective in which we can all understand. First world mentality, we got to leave that shit at the airport, guys. We got to leave it there, and we never need to bring it with us. And one thing that I do need to say, and I'm gonna say this, if this, how can I say this without coming off a bit shitty? Nah, I don't really care. It's not really shitty, but I think this pertains. It doesn't necessarily pertain to my people in general, but this is just something that I've only seen most people that are my complexion do. First things first, if you are a Black American, I mean, again, let me just get this out of the way because this ain't about race or anything. Leave the N word out of your vocabulary before you come to the Philippines. I know I shouldn't have to say that, but sometimes people have the audacity to, continue to use the word, oh, what's up, my nigga, whatever, whatever, whatever. I shouldn't have said it, but you know what I mean. And then when people say it, you get mad when other people say it. So I kind of feel like you need to delete that word out of your vocabulary, period, especially in foreign countries, because once you hear it and it kind of pisses you off, what are you going to do then? You're going to fight that person because you're mad. And also, I know that some people come from some pretty rough environments, okay? This is Dr. Mike speaking some truth, okay? I know a lot of people who come from some bad backgrounds and some pretty rough environments, man. They come from, quote unquote, the hood. And I'm not saying necessarily that's just a Black thing, but that could be a white thing or any person thing. But you come from that background where you had to live a pretty hard life growing up. You kind of develop a mentality about yourself where you're always hard or you always have to mean mug, and people who do a lot of mean mugging in the Philippines, you just go scare people away from you, okay? Let me be real. You are just going to scare people away from you. And if you bring that mentality that you developed in the United States to the Philippines, it's not going to do you any favors. How are you supposed to meet people when you don't know how to smile? How are you supposed to be able to do things if you don't know how to interact with others, or your only interaction with people, you're always directed, you're always coming at them with this hard shit about yourself, So that mentality may be harder for you to check at the airport, but I think you need to kind of scale back on it because you're coming around a different group of people. I'm always one to keep your guard up. For real, keep your guard up at all times. I will never say that, but you gotta come with you gotta soften your attitude just a little bit. You can't come in here fucking looking at everybody like you want to shoot them or something like that. That's just my whole perspective on the entire topic today. I appreciate you guys listening to me talk, rant, and rave, and I'm glad that everybody who came through. So now, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and run over to the chat and talk to you guys for a minute. I'm gonna read your comments, and we're gonna get it in. Shout out to my boy David Webb in the building. Always asking me where the white women at. My man World Traveler tells you can find the white women in Makati and BGC. Showing love to my man Mike. Appreciate you coming through. My man B617. What's going on with your family? Appreciate you coming through and showing some love to your boy Dr. Mike. Tony Towers, as always, hashtag Team Davo in the building. You know what's good. I appreciate you guys showing love to my favorite place on earth. But I'm glad that you guys are respecting the city as well. So much love to you, my brother. Tim H, thank you for coming through. My man Nine's on. Thank you for coming through and being in the house, man. My man David says that the one thing he doesn't like about the Philippines is the "we'll do it tomorrow" they have. Yeah, the "we'll do it tomorrow" mentality in the Philippines is definitely a struggle for us as foreigners. It can be hard for us to be able to get things done whenever things are always delayed. I am a firm believer in being on top of people to make sure things get done in the Philippines, but you have to do that, within means, or you have to do that, just without being so harsh about it. But yes, I do agree. The "we'll do it tomorrow" mentality kind of fucks up timelines and things like that, and that could definitely be detrimental, especially if you're trying to get some things done. And that mentality can definitely hurt. I agree. My man Eyes On says Philippines is heaven if you allow it to be. Before you go there, network with others and learn about and learn about where to go so you can have fun. And no, well, I'm not going to repeat that, but yes, no, if you can interact with more than one Filipino, that'll probably be in your best interest, okay? My man Oahu Dude says Philippines is definitely not for everyone. The big question you have to ask yourself is, why did you travel all this way to begin with? And if you ask that question, you'll definitely be able to come up with an answer. I sincerely hope so. And then right then and there, you should be able to do one thing. You can either check in your first world mentality at the airport or go ahead and book your ticket and go home. All right. That's just the only way it's going to be. You can either check in the mentality at the airport or go ahead and buy your return ticket with the quickness. All right. Sometimes tomorrow never does come. You're right. Shout out to my boy John Jones in the building. What's going on, family? Hashtag Team Dab Out in the building. What's good with you, man? I'm waiting for you guys to show Dab Out some love, man. My man Elijah says, I checked everything at the airport. Exactly. You just have to leave everything there. And I know this shit is hard. This is the weird thing. I know how hard it is. Because when you are a certain type of person, the way that you are as an individual in the first world, it seems to it's hard for you to leave it. All right. It's hard for you to leave the negative aspects about it. But ultimately, I think you'll understand that certain things that you were used to doing and certain things you're used to getting away with or acting, it's just not going to work for you in the Philippines. Okay. It's just not for you. And it is in your best interest to check everything at the airport and leave it there. I told you, leave that shit at baggage claim with no name on it at all. Just let it go. David Webb, you are right. Filipino time does suck. I mean, but they can say colored people time sucks too. I mean, I don't know which is worse. I kind of feel like they're both one and the same. But, we just have to understand that when we're dealing with a certain group of individuals, we have to learn to conform. And that's what most people don't want to do. Okay. That's what most people don't want to do. And I understand why to an extent. But most people just don't want to conform. A lot of people are like, man, fuck that, man. When I'm here, they should do for me as I need them to do. That right there is your first mistake. You're in their country, but you're telling me that they need to do for you and do everything that you need them to do and do it now. That's not the best way to approach it. All right. What I've learned in my past, the only way that you're going to get shit done in the Philippines, I'll tell you right now. And a lot of you ain't going to like it because it requires you to do some actual work. Okay. But if you want to get things done in the Philippines, you have to beat in somebody's ass in order to get some shit done in the Philippines. I'll tell you right now, I was trying to get some information from my school the other day because I needed to get some paperwork together, get some transcript of records, sent to some people to take care of some business, right? And they were like, oh, sir, we'll have it ready for you by tomorrow. They didn't have it ready for me by tomorrow. Had to go up to the school, and I was in their ass every single day until they got it done. It took them 2 days to do it. But what probably could have took a week if I had not done what I did, I got done in a short period of time. So I need you guys to understand that sometimes it is going to take you being proactive instead of reactive in the Philippines. Because a lot of people like to be reactive. They like to get mad because something didn't get done on time instead of being proactive and seeing to it. Seeing to it that things actually got done on your timetable. People suck. People are going to believe this to suck ass. I'm telling you, I don't like having to do it. But if you're not calling the right people, talking to the right people, doing what you got to do, the shit ain't going to do you no favors, man. Ain't going to do you no favors at all. And that's just my personal opinion. Check the mentality in at the airport. Leave it there. A lot of things you're going to find about the country you're not going to like. But if it ain't for you, then you realize I'll never come back to the Philippines and go somewhere else. That's perfectly fine. All right? And I agree with it. And I respect it. For those who do that, do that. Do that. All right? So my man Oahu Dude says, I find the expats that complain are the ones that have no other option and feel stuck there. It makes a difference when you have options. Well, I guess I mean, here's my thing. Why are you stuck in the Philippines? Unless you have no money to go back home, why would you consider yourself to be stuck there? And then if you don't have any reason to go back home, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out what constitutes somebody being stuck there. That's just my whole philosophy. I mean, I kind of feel like we all got options. I mean, we had the money to get there, but we don't have the money to leave. I don't know how that works, man, but to each his own. I see we got 21 individuals watching. Appreciate all of you coming through. Guys, make sure you get the likes up on this video. Definitely make sure you check out the IPA shirts that they're at your disposal. Go ahead, come on and support the movement. If any of you guys want to support the BOOTYLOO Investment Fund, Dr. Mike is wholeheartedly appreciative of that. And of course, you already know how to do so. But of course, if you guys come through and spend even a little bit of your time with the good doctor today, he is very satisfied with you for coming through and taking a little bit of time to say what's up, say hi, hey, what's up, hello. Remember that song? Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming through and doing that for your boy tonight. But definitely make sure you get the likes up. If you don't do anything else, like the video. Because you know what they say, baby? Likes are free. Don't cost you shit. Black Pablo says, I always leave the Western mentality anytime I travel, anytime it's travel time. It is a must. It is definitely a must, guys. But it's hard because I feel like some people don't get that. They don't get that. They don't get that memo. A lot of guys will sit there and be like, well, I feel like people need to conform to me. They have that me mentality. And I mean, I get it. Everybody's selfish shit. When you're used to getting everything done, with the quickness, and then you come to a country and things seem to slow down for you when you want something, that's a hard pill for you to swallow. But if you don't swallow it with pride and just, try to find a better way to approach the situation, I'm telling you, arguing, screaming, and yelling at, officers at immigration, I tell you right now, it's not going to do you any favors. Matter of fact, that shit could get you blacklisted and kicked out the country. Somebody told me that recently. Were you guys familiar with that? I don't know where I saw this at. I have no idea where I saw it at. I don't know if it was a video, some YouTuber said it, but they were like, even the smallest thing that foreigners do in like the immigration office or whatever they're doing in the country, that shit could get you blacklisted in the Philippines. And I'm like, damn, I could hiccup, burp, and fart, and that shit could get me blacklisted in the Philippines. I mean, people are sensitive nowadays, man. You just got to be careful with how you approach every situation. But you got to make sure it's just better you just leave the Western mentality when you travel at any time. So Black Pablo agree with you 100%, my brother. Appreciate you coming through and showing some love. My man Fred Funky Town in the building. What's good with your family? Appreciate you spending some time. I know you told me you was coming to the Davao, man. What's good? I'm waiting for y'all. Everybody who said they coming to visit the good doctor in Davao, what's good? I'm missing you. All right, appreciate you coming through and showing some love. My man Anti-Gravity done gave me bro, I don't even know what name you gave me. He calls me Dr. Jose Felipe Rodriguez Mike. Jesus Christ, man, I got the greatest name on God's green earth. How many first names is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Appreciate you, my Gito. There you go, John Jones, showing your boy hashtag Davao. That's what's good with you. Anti-Gravity says, Dr. Mike, can you do a show about how to do business networking in the Philippines or even networking in general? You know what? Just for you, my brother, and the fact that you got me 2 midgets last night, 2 midgets, Anti-Gravity, you're going to get that show, man. I'm going to try to break that one in next week. All right, just for you, brother. You bought me my 2 midgets last night, so I appreciate you. Got my 2 midgets rippers, man. So thank you. I got you. He says, for example, I networked in Japan with a Japanese businessman in Japan by drinking with them at the bar. What would be the tactic in the Philippines? Guys, we're going to have to save that one for a whole different live stream because there are so many different ways that you can approach the situation. Drinking is definitely one of them for sure. It would definitely work here in the Philippines. But, we can get into depth, and I'm going to also try to bring on a guest for that particular show so that we can actually talk about it because I know people who do business in the Philippines. So I'm definitely going to try to bring on somebody who can actually help to, push the narrative on that particular topic just for you. All right, so we'll do that one soon. I've already screenshotted it, so it's coming, brother. Don't worry about it. Awahudu says some expats are miserable to begin with. Before they come to the Philippines, they have to leave much more than a first world mentality at the airport. Oh yes, they have to leave more than the first world mentality. But, at this moment, I kind of feel like I just want to focus on, making sure they leave their attitude, the mentality, the everything that kind of, could put you in a compromising situation in the Philippines. That's what I'm working with. So I see my man Gogo's a little upset with me. What's going on, man? He says, I'm upset with you, doctor. He said, I'm live and you never come on my panel. He said he's live now, so come after the stream. You know what, Gogo? Last time I came on, the last time I rolled by your live stream, that time you had Justin on there, you had Gypsy, you had Roberto, and I think you had another person on there. So I thought you were good, my brother. I thought you had everybody you needed, man. So I just stopped in, showed some love, and I just went on ahead and let you do your live, brother. Don't worry about it. But after I finish here, I'll definitely try to leave you a snap in the chat. Make sure you know that I'm over there trying to show you some love, man. But you get a lot of love over here. Now, I apologize if you feel like you were left out. All right. I felt like you had enough people on the panel at the time, so I definitely wanted to let you have your shine, brother. Don't want to take over your shine. Oahu Dude says expats do get stuck there. I know several that retired very young and don't have the assets to have a decent life in the U.S. Okay, so that's actually a perspective in which I'm not familiar with. Most of the people that I know have the option to leave, and they leave if they want to, but most people choose to stay. But yeah, if they don't have any assets or anything in the United States, they don't got no family, nowhere that they can go. That's kind of disappointing. I don't never want to be in a place where I feel like I'm stuck. If there's a time when I just say, you know what, maybe I just want to see somewhere else, man. Maybe I've had my fill of the Philippines and I just want to do something else. I definitely want to be able to make the move. And if they don't have the assets, you're right, bro. I guess that's actually a viable situation that could possibly prevent people from making the moves. All right. Go, don't worry about it, man. We'll definitely try to come through and spend some time, man. World Traveler says the funniest thing, I was at Cebu Airport and this young couple from Europe in line started to complain about why lines take so long in the Philippines. He went up to the counter and went off on the lady. Exactly, World Traveler, that is the shit that I am talking about. You can't go up there and blow up on people and expect to get results, bruh. You just can't do that. And that's the type of shit that I'm seeing every now and again. I'm seeing a lot of people come around and I'm seeing a lot of people blow up over situations that don't even require them to get to that space. So it's just it gets on my nerves, man. So my man World Traveler says I stepped in and gave him a reality check in the Philippines, told him to calm down before he gets arrested. Oh yes, he definitely needs to make sure he doesn't get arrested in the Philippines. Anti-gravity, don't worry about it, man. The video request is coming. I really had that particular topic in mind. I just didn't know how to approach it, but you gave me some ideas in which I could use to make the video something a little bit more interesting for everybody in the chat instead of just doing a regular video on that particular topic. So much appreciated to you, my brother. Hope you come through and spend some time. Like I said, man, you got me my 2 midgets last night, so I owe you one. But yeah, man, I mean, you got to understand, man, you got to check in that first world mentality at the airport. And the one thing that we have yet to talk about, guys, and I kind of felt like somebody else was going to bring it up before I did, when it comes to checking in your first world mentality at the airport, we got to talk about when it comes to dealing with women. I was waiting for somebody to beat me to the punch because I was talking circles around the shit. So let's go ahead and rip the band-aid off of this one too. You most definitely have to leave that first world mentality at the airport when it comes to dealing with women or Filipinas in the Philippines. You got to understand that dealing with women in the Philippines is not necessarily the same as dealing with women in the United States, where in the simp mentality, the Me Too, and all that shit is necessary and vital, and women are, worshipped and all that shit. You know how it is in a first world country, or everybody's a queen and a goddess and all of that shit. You don't have to bring that same mentality to the Philippines. Please don't bring that same mentality to the Philippines because you don't have to. In the Philippines, for the most part, depending on the type of woman you're dealing with, your woman is going to be the one that worships you. Your woman is going to be the one that takes care of you. Quite the opposite in the United States. I mean, your woman can sit at home all day, you can work your ass off, but expect her to cook you a meal? Fuck that. She don't even know how to boil damn water. But expect you to bring home the bread and let you take care of everything. You gotta understand, man, this shit is faux real. So you need to understand that if you want to have that first world mentality when it comes to dealing with women in the Philippines, it may not always be to your benefit. If you come out if you come out the womb or come out the airport with that simp mentality where you're just praising a woman for how beautiful she is, you're gonna blow that head up. And there's nothing wrong with making your woman feel good if it's your woman. But if this is just the first woman that you met when you got off the plane or the first woman that you talked to since you've been in the country, that is not going to be to your benefit at all. I promise you. I have never known a man to bring his first world mentality to the Philippines and successfully be with a woman. And when I mean by successful, I mean have a long relationship and not be with a woman that is going to use him I mean, just for whatever she could get for him. And we all know, man, if there's one thing that I've noticed about Filipino women, and I hate to make this seem bad or negative, but for the most part, these women know how to read through you. They know how to read through you. They know a simp when they see one. They damn sure know how to fuck the game up when they see you. They gonna make you do some shit that you probably never thought of, and they're gonna laugh their way all the way to. They're gonna laugh all the way to the bank on that ass. And what am I gonna be? What am I gonna be? Who is gonna be there to tell you I told you so? Somebody like me. And I'm the type of person, I don't like laughing at people because everybody makes mistakes, including me. But if you know that this shit is for real, then I'm telling you right now. This shit right here is gonna hurt your feelings. And that girl is gonna run shop all over you. Facts, no doubt. So my man Road Traveler says, guys, when you're talking to your girl and if she says noted, that is a code for I got it. Now shut the fuck up. Yeah, I do get that too, man. Yes, noted. Yeah, I get that. Shout out to my boy Anti-Gravity family. What's good? He said another investment to the BOOTYLOO Investment Fund. Get yourself a full stripper this time. Goddamn right, man. Shout out to my boy Anti-Gravity, man. Now I know for sure I have no choice but to do that topic now, man. You done bought me 2.5 strippers, bro. I'm good, man. Now I know I gotta hook you up, but I appreciate you, my brother. I always do. But again, guys, that topic's coming. I'm gonna probably do it next week. Don't know what day next week, but I got you. But I'm telling you guys, you definitely need to make sure you check in that first world mentality at the airport. And World Traveler, you bring up a great point. You say when a girl says noted, that is code for I got it. And basically what they'll say is they'll say noted and they won't say anything else after that. Like even with my girl, man, like when she's mad or something, or when it feels like I'm reprimanding her for something, or like if we get into a disagreement and I'm the type of person I got to sit there and fucking keep banging it in, like, you know how you just got to keep saying things in order for her to get it. She says noted to me all the time, and I know she's mad because she's clearly not happy with me, but I feel like that's the only way that we're going to get through this situation, to let her know that this is unacceptable for myself. If you don't lay the ground rules, or at least put in the groundwork with your female, I'm telling you right now, she ain't gonna never get it. And when she never gets it, you know, that tempo and shit, she's gonna believe that that's all okay. And if you're so scared to lose her, you know what you're going to do? You're going to accept that behavior. That right there is not checking in your first world mentality at the airport. That right there is simply saying that you're going to allow this woman to run all over you. You're going to allow this woman to basically shit on you your entire life and give her whatever she wants to, and she doesn't have to put up anything in return. Imagine how a brother would feel like that. Imagine how you're supposed to feel. You know, that's just food for thought, guys. That all ties into the first world mentality. I think a simp, SIMP mentality is a first world mentality. And it comes from dealing with women in the first world country. And it comes from the idea that every woman should be put on a pedestal, a woman of any race. Doesn't matter her race. It comes from that shit. And when you do that shit, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna bite yourself in the ass. And you're just gonna allow these women to come through and shit on you until the day that you die. And that is the absolute last thing that I want for you guys. And I want you gentlemen to understand that Dr. Mike is on your team, okay? Now, I know there are foreigners in the Philippines who are fucked up. And those are the ones that did not check in their mentality, their first world mentality at the airport. You know, but that goes into the line of just being disrespectful and, you know, trying to degrade people in the country where you are because they didn't come from the first world, they come from the third world. That's the type of shit that I don't like as far as foreigners who don't check in their mentality, their first world mentality. They kind of shit on people like, oh, well, you know, I'm from America and I do this because I'm from America and I'm this shit because I'm from America. You know those types, man. You see them all. So, you know, you just got to take everything into perspective. You know, I don't want you to go into the country and straight disrespect and shit on people. That's fucked up. But I want you guys to have some respect for yourself when it comes to dealing with these women. That's all I'm saying. So my man Awahudu says it's expected that a newbie will be awed and overwhelmed at the first young thing that finds interest in him. Right? He said I made that mistake and it took a while. I mean, it does. And I, like I said, man, I guess I can't be too mad at you. I think everybody's entitled to a mistake. Everybody's entitled to a first mistake, man. But I think once you start making it a repetitive thing, that could definitely put you in a bad situation. My man Tony says, not sure if it was first world mentality, but I keep my emergency medical funds in one of my ladies' Philippines bank account, and it is still there 14 months later. Well, you know what, Tony? Maybe you just found somebody you could trust. And clearly, if she hasn't touched that money at all, she might be a good one. Shit. She might be a good one. If it's still there a year later, now I would want to make sure that, you know, I never argue with her for anything, you know, just to make sure that I'm, you know, on the up and up. I would definitely want to make sure that, you know, we don't argue at all for anything. And I definitely want to make sure I keep her happy, not on no simp shit, but I just want to make sure that I don't give her any reason to want to pop off and take my shit with her. But if you found one that will let your money stay and won't touch it, that's a keeper, man. I mean, that's a risk that I really feel that I wouldn't be willing to take. I mean, once I get married to my girl, that's different. You understand? But then again, I'm the type of person, I don't like people knowing what money I have. So maybe I wouldn't put it in her account, but I do know somebody's account that I could use if I could not use my own. But of course, I have my own Philippine bank account, so that shouldn't be an issue for myself. But I kind of feel like that's a positive thing if your money is still there after 14 months. But you're right, Oahu dude. I kind of agree. It may not be the best way to set up your needed finances. I do agree. I find that's really, really scary. But then again, it's been there for a year, a year and 2 months total. So I guess it's fine until it's not fine. That's my thing. It's okay until it's not okay. Until she decides that she needs that money for a reason, or until something happens between you two, argument or whatever, and then she possibly runs off with it. So that's just me. But what my man World Traveler says that putting that money in the bank for an emergency is definitely a survival tactic. He said you are good on having that as a backup. Very true. But like I'm saying, like my man World Traveler says, if you break up, I do hope you get that money back. But if she hasn't touched it yet, that's actually a positive thing. Because some Filipino will find a reason or an excuse to touch it, and that's what you don't want. So I'm just glad that nothing's happened to it yet. My man Oahu says, I remember. He said, I remember, and he said, and remember when you're there, that patience is a proactive choice. I am continually working on that, even when I'm back home. Yes, patience is definitely a proactive choice. We talked about, being proactive versus reactive towards situations. That is definitely poignant in in the Philippines. You definitely have to be a proactive individual. You definitely have to do things before things are done to you. And then you have to scramble and try to fix situations before things get fucked up. Okay. Like I said before, if you're trying to get things done, business wise or whatever, you need to be proactive. If you're trying to get things done at immigration, you need to be proactive. You need to be on top of these people like white on rice. I'm telling you, if you want things done, you got to do it this way. But you do have to be patient at times. You have to do it with patience. It sounds weird, but you have to be proactive with patience. Like my man Oahu says, you have to you have to know that you need to get something done, and you have to make it very clear to these people that you need things done. I found that if you find the prettiest chick in the room, that's actually behind the counter, you sweet talker. Sometimes I love to sweet talk the old ladies. If there's an old lady in the back and she's doing something or whatever, and I feel like she might be able to assist me, I like to talk her up. I like to be like, yes, ma'am, I really need this done today because I got some things I need to take care of. What can you do to help me, or tell me where I could go? And you know what she does? She went up to the counter. She said, right away, sir, you come with me. She went to the counter. She gave my paperwork to the lady at the line. She was helping somebody at that moment. And she said, you know what? After she finishes with her, she's going to help you. And that's the kind of shit you need to do. Talk to the person that could be there to help you. You got to talk it up. you gotta be able to interact with people. I think that was what my boy Eyes On was saying earlier, man. Learn who you can lean on, network, whatever you got to do. But that's the type of shit you got to do, man. And that's how you get shit done in the Philippines. A lot of people don't know this, but if you talk to the people the right way, I promise you, shit'll get done. Be buddy with the person that's in charge, and you can get shit done. You talk to the people that you know can help you, and that will help you get things done. That way, you don't have to worry about having a first world mentality and losing your shit, and blowing up. Because you'll always find somebody that will be there to look out for your best interest. Unless that person is the type of person to be like, I can't help you. You got to stay in the line. If I help you, it'll make me look bad. Unless you have that type of situation, then, that's a little bit different. My man Tony says that the money he put into that bank account was just like a vacation budget. That's cool. I mean, yeah, it's just there and you don't touch it. I like it. Works for me. World Traveler says patience. Don't freak out when you hear out of stock, even at McDonald's. We are not used to hearing that in the United States. Yes, in the United States, I'm used to everybody having everything that I need whenever I need it. Not in the Philippines. I hear out of stock of everything. When I was in the Philippines, I couldn't find an Oreo McFlurry to save my life. They never had the ingredients for Oreo McFlurries. I remember I wanted a Coke float. I couldn't get a Coke float, bro. I was crying because I went to 3 McDonald's and they did not have the ingredients for a Coke float. So it's simple shit. So when they say they're out of it, you gotta have a backup plan. Definitely prepare yourself for out of stock and always have a backup order. The only thing that would make me even more mad is if you went to like KFC in the Philippines and they say that they didn't have any more chicken. I think I'd fucking laugh, but you just got to be careful with that stuff, and you got to be careful with how you react. I've said time and time again, man, y'all ain't got shit up in here, do you? I say it in a nice way, but damn it, my bad. I say it in a nice way, but I definitely I definitely like to make sure that I try to hold on to it a little bit. I try to say it in a nice way. It's the best way for me to put it. Tony says most only rush when you have to pay after the work is done. Yeah, that's different. But then when you have to pay before the work is done, you kind of get in your feelings a little bit. My man Oahu dude got jokes tonight. He's like, patience, like when Dr. Mike cuts out. Oh yeah, man, y'all gotta be patient with me, man. Like last night, I feel so bad about my live stream the other day. I say last night, but the one I did yesterday when I had to break it up into two parts. I almost cried, man, because I was doing good, everything was going well, and then my shit just let me know that I needed to take a moment and regroup, I guess. But we came back and we finished strong, so that's the best way to put it. I had my man World Traveler on with me, so we finished strong. So I appreciate those that actually waited. I do appreciate those that actually came through on the on the part 2. That one ended up, getting, definitely ended up being a little bit better than the first one, but most definitely. I got my thoughts out. Everything was put out the way that I wanted it to, so we're good to go. Let's hopefully keep to it that this one is going to stay consistent throughout the entire stream today. World Traveler, yes, we got to be patient with the old people that cut us in line, because they always cut us out of line in the Philippines. Yes, man, they're senior citizens, man. They get the senior citizens discount. We got to be very, very, very patient with them. He says that, oh man, John Jones says the teenagers try to cut in line also. Yeah, I've had that happen before. I'm like, whoa, 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 excuse me. That's the best way for me to say it. I'll be like, hey, excuse you, I was here. I will make it known that I was here. Now, there's only one place on God's green earth that I would never do that, and that's in the Middle East. That's different. Like in the Middle East, they're very pushy too. Like I went to a Burger King at when I was in UAE, I went to a Burger King to get me something to eat. Them kids was pushy as hell. Like they were just crowding the line and pushing in front of me. I didn't know how to react because you do realize those are the locals, and I ain't about to get my ass fucked up for touching somebody's kid or backhanding somebody's child. But the kids, they're very pushy and they like to push each other in line. And I did get skipped. I was pissed, but the line wasn't long, so I didn't let it get to me. But nobody else get me after that. I just made sure I stay close to the line. So you definitely have to make sure you prepare yourself for patience like that, because they do skip. I haven't been skipped in the Philippines because I let them know that I am here, so I don't play that shit. But you got to be careful with that, man, for sure. My man Oahu dude brings up a great point. He says if people skip me in line, he said my blood pressure would spike. He said, but at the end, it's you that looks bad if you blow your stack. Yes, the foreigner always looks bad. The foreigner never comes out unscathed. If there's a story to be told on GMA, ABS-CBN, or TV5, you will always look bad. That is why you have to keep your cool. You have to keep your composure. And ultimately, you've got to check in that first world mentality at the airport. Don't get fucked up. Just don't. Don't do anything that's gonna make you look bad in the eyes of others. Most of y'all don't care. Like, I don't care if how people look at me, man. I'm myself, man. Fuck that. I don't care. If people go do that, disrespect me, I'm gonna do this back. I get it. I understand that that's the way that you were probably raised. You got to defend yourself. But in certain situations, sometimes you got to learn to let shit go. And if your first world mentality doesn't allow you to let shit go, that is something you got to check in at the airport. Hell, you should probably check that shit in before you even get on the plane. But I'm just saying, it happens. Shout out to my boy Derek Builder. What's going on, family? He says, I hate the banks there. It's slow as hell. Oh, man, the banks are worse. If you want to get anything done at the bank, go early in the morning. But even when I used to go to the bank early in the morning, the banks were always busy. There was always a line of people waiting outside the bank before the bank opened. It's a pain in the ass. There's no winning for losing. You bank at BDO, you sit there in the line, wait for them to call a number for you. You go to BPI, you go to Land Bank, Metro Bank. I mean, it's just slow everywhere you go, guys. I don't know what to tell you. That's why when it comes to making deposits, man, you just gotta choose a little. You gotta make sure that you give yourself at least an hour out of your day to go to the bank. Sometimes, depending on what bank you use, just give yourself some time, bruh. Because sometimes you're going to be there for an extremely long time, and sometimes the processes or the transactions that the people are doing are just mediocre transactions at best, but they just seem to take forever. And oh my god, the one thing that I hate about Philippine banks is their systems are always down. That right there is, besides the fact that they're slow as hell, for some reason every time I go into a Philippine bank, their systems are always down. Oh, we're offline. Oh my God, we're offline. We're offline. I'm like, man, Philippine internet got you feeling a certain kind of way, man. And I am no different. I am no exception. I try my best to keep my cool. Sometimes I got to go to a bathroom and fucking just throw punches at a wall or something, because sometimes you just want to kill somebody, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? Don't let people make you look bad. All right? Just don't give them a reason to look at you in a negative light. Like I said, some people don't care, but yeah. A wild dude, you about to leave, man? All right, brother. I appreciate you coming through. He said Dr. Mike is running this from the province. Yeah, man. Dr. Mike is here, chilling at that sorry store that y'all saw. Having a good time, man. I just put on some noise reduction shit so that my microphone isn't, here catching all the background sound. I had to step up my game. Damn dogs barking and shit. So yeah, I'm good. Oahu Dude says he regrets 100% of the times things that he says out of anger and frustration. I do too. I truly do. And World Traveler says that people don't respect lines. They cut all the time, especially at the bus ticket counter. Again, man, and it's your first world mentality that will determine how you react to the situation. If you want to do a woosah moment and just breathe and then say, okay, fuck it, I'm just not going to let this bother me, then that's what you do. But sometimes you have somebody like most people that I know that just ain't going to let that shit slide, man. And most people will say, oh, if you're just so passive and you just let people do whatever they want to you. No, in my personal opinion, it's not passive to the point where you're looked at in a negative light, like you're just looked at as a pushover. It's just to the point where, you know what, some battles are just not worth fighting. In the Philippines, there are some battles that are just not worth fighting. Ignorance of other people are battles that I choose not to fight. I deal with ignorance consistently. And I'm not talking about just in the Philippines. I'm talking about people that you have to deal with on YouTube. But the negativity, people when I don't get mad at people or I don't respond in a way that people expect me to, people look at me sideways like, he's a pushover, this, that, and the other. But but I try to tell them, there are some battles that are worth fighting. And dealing with somebody who's ignorant, that's a battle I will always lose. All right. And that's the same in the Philippines, man. That's a battle you will always lose because you can't, how can I say this? You can't justify ignorance. You can't explain to an ignorant person why what they're saying and or doing is bad or it's wrong because they don't know no better. So that's just the type of mentality that I have. Some battles are worth fighting and some are just let it go. Cause it's not worth it for you to get in your feelings over it, So, when they cut me at the line at the bus counter, I've never had that happen. Most times I get on the bus or the plane and then I just pay for my ticket when I get there. So, when I'm on the plane, I'll just get a ticket while I'm on there. So I don't really have that issue, but I do know where you're coming from. My man Derek says, I sat in the bank for 30 minutes and 2 numbers were called. He said, I just used the ATM. That's facts, man. That's what you got to deal with in the Philippines, bro. People will sit there and fucking just. These transactions take an hour and a half. And, let's say there are like 30 people in the bank and they only on like number 10 and you're number 30. And like 20-30 minutes later, like you said, man, maybe one number has been called since then. That shit'll make you lose your mind. And it's always, oh, we're offline this, oh, we're offline that, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, man. Just let it go, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, man, that's just the type of mentality that you got to learn to adapt while you're in the Philippines. Patience, definitely one of them. You got to learn to be patient, guys. If you're not patient, you gonna. I'm telling you right now, that shit ain't gonna end well for you, bro. It's just not. And I've had to learn over time that patience is a virtue. I'm one to just, I'm used to having like my brother and my pops with me, and they blow up quick. They blow the fuck up quick. Like they are the people who are the least patient in my whole entire life. Like my dad, he's a little bit older now, but he don't accept a lot of shit. My father's a retired vet. So my man go get his assistance. He's gonna get what he wants. But the way that he goes about it is assertive and he's firm with what he wants and he lets people know, but he does it in a respectful way. He ain't gonna shit on nobody to get what he needs done. So has he completely left his first world mentality? No, hell no. My brother, not him either. But they go about it in a way where they let them know that they're disappointed in service, or they let people know that they're disappointed in what happened, but they're going to do it in a way that it doesn't come off disrespectful in any way, shape, or form. So you got to come to a compromising when it comes to shit like that. That's all. My man World Traveler says ATM lines in the Philippines during payday, you will wait 15, 30 minutes, and you'll be lucky if you get any money out because sometimes somebody will fuck the machine up and they have to go offline. Again, patience is a virtue in the Philippines. I think that needs to be a video in itself, but we could talk about patience here. It's just something that you got to deal with. My man Oahu Dude says you got to be patient with dating because they're always late. Well, yeah, 99.9% of the time, I would rather be the last one to show up. I remember one time before I got into a relationship, of course, man, my girl's never late. Let me tell you something, okay? I'm gonna tell you some real shit. I was so used to dealing with people who would show up late for shit. So when I show up late, I didn't care because I was always still first. My girl is never fucking late for anything. If we separate or like I'm coming from another place, she's never late. I can be from another place or she can be from another place. I'll be like, yeah, I'll be there in 30 minutes. She'll text me, I'm here after 25 minutes pass. I have 5 minutes and I'm rushing to get to wherever she is. She's always beating me to every location with the exception of a few, but my girl's never late for any date. Doesn't matter where the hell she's coming from. She tells me she's going to be there. She's going to be there at that time. She may be even a little earlier. Unless traffic has messed her up, she's never late. I'm the one that's always late. So I can't really, say anything against that because I'm usually the late one, but I do know where you're coming from. Sometimes, Filipinos are never on time. It sucks. My man Jay Jones in the building. What's going on, family? Appreciate you coming through and showing some love to the good doctor today. I said we got about 18, 19 individuals watching at this time. Appreciate you guys getting the likes up for me. Dr. Mike would be highly appreciative of that. Please make sure you check out the IPA t-shirts if you want to. If any of you guys want to drop a little bit of an investment in the BOOTYLOO fund, by all means, you know how to do so. But of course, I'm happy with you guys coming through and spending some time with the good doctor today. As long as it's an hour, I don't care how long it is. I'm sorry, a couple of seconds to an hour. If you stay the whole time, I am just happy to have you guys as part of the audience. So with that being said, I am back to your regularly scheduled programming. My man Oahu Dude says he believes that it seems like Filipinas are never punctual. Do they get fired for this? You know what? I think they're on time for work. They're just not on time for dates. I mean, I've never known a Filipina to be late for work. They get paid to do that. So I mean, as far as dates are concerned, oh yeah, they're late all the time. But I've never known them to be late for work. Some of my classmates were late for school, but most of them were always on time. So, as far as punctuality is concerned in reference to like school and work, I've never really seen too many of them show up late for stuff like that. But dates are all the time, bro, all the time. So I don't know about them getting fired for work because I've never seen it happen, but it's highly probable that they would get fired for being late all the time. So yeah, that's probably true. Right, world traveler. There you go. They're never late for work. They're just late for everything else. Touche. Best way to put it. Best way to put it. My man Derek says, person beside me understood English because I said the ATM is making more money than the tellers at the bank. He said then need another one and one less teller. Okay, so you were telling him that they need to add an extra ATM machine and then fire a teller? Probably. I mean, shit, that shit's automated, man. Some of the people at the bank tellers, they're just slow as hell, man. But sometimes you can't blame them. Sometimes it's just the transaction, guys. So you can't really blame them. Sometimes they're if people really get angry about bank tellers, it's not really their fault. Sometimes it's the system that is slow, and sometimes the transactions that are needed to be processed require like authorization signatures from the main bosses in the building. So I kind of try not to get too mad at them because sometimes it's just the transaction that takes long. It's not necessarily their fault, like they're slow. But again, patience is a virtue, man, and that's something that we need to learn to bring with us into the Philippines. A whole bunch of patience. We need to leave all that negativity and shit behind in the airport, like I said, but patience is something you definitely need to bring with you. John Jones says you have to stay calm with the traffic and don't be a backseat driver. Oh yeah, man, traffic in the Philippines is fucking horrible. Traffic in Davao is getting worse. I love Davao, but they got some bad traffic too. I talked about Manila traffic, but Davao traffic is getting there too. It's I don't think it will ever be as bad as Manila traffic, but it's up there. That shit could be just traffic could be at a standstill for a long time, guys. That's all I'm gonna tell you. That shit right there will drive you insane. Nothing you could do about it. All you could do about it is just sit there and accept it. You'll eventually get to your place, but you got to make sure that when you're in traffic, or you got to make sure that you allot yourself a certain amount of time to get from point A to point B. If you know that you're trying to go to a mall and it may normally take you 15 to 30 minutes to get there, depending on where you are, allot yourself 45 because you never know what kind of pockets of traffic you're going to get into. If you ever get into a situation where like I was saying, guys, whenever it comes to dealing with Philippine traffic, Manila traffic is actually worse, and I don't see it getting any better. And Davao traffic is bad too, like I was saying, but I just don't think it will ever get to the point where it is like Manila traffic. And yeah, I talk about Manila and how horrible it is as far as traffic is concerned, but you know, Davao traffic is not that far behind, unfortunately, and that's scary. That's I'm afraid of what it's going to be like in the years to come. That's all I will tell you. But you're right, John Jones. You can't be a backseat driver. My man Tony says that most of them are not late for a date to the movies. Oh yeah, because if they miss the movie, they're screwed. But I will tell you this though, in the Philippines, you're allowed to watch a movie more than once. So if you pay whatever you pay for the ticket for the movie, you can sit in the movie theater and watch it again if you want to. So that's what I want you to understand. So even if they are late sometimes, what they will do is they'll just sit in the movie and wait until it plays again so that they can catch the beginning part of the movie. You can't do that in the United States, man. I tell you right now, man. You pay your $5, $10 for that movie. You're gonna sit in there, you're gonna catch it from the time that it starts, and then once it ends, you go because they gotta come through, they gotta clean it up. They ain't gonna just sit there and let you stay in the movie theater. It's almost impossible. I just can't really see that, being plausible. But in the Philippines, in certain movie theaters, you are allowed to sit there and watch the movie more than once. But you're right though. They won't be late for movies for the most part. Most people want to catch the movie at the beginning, especially if it's one of them local Tagalog movies, man. They boy, anytime their favorite love team does a movie in the Philippines, man, they are the first in line. They'll be camping out to catch that movie, man. So yeah. I mean, that's something you probably don't have to worry about them being too late for. So if you do have a date with one, maybe a movie date would be a good date because you'll definitely make sure that they actually show up on time. Oh no, it doesn't. I mean, most Tony, on most Philippine movie theaters, you don't really have assigned seats. I mean, with the exception of a chosen few malls, they don't really have assigned seats. You can just sit wherever you want to. You just choose whether you're going to sit at the upper deck or the lower deck. All right. But they don't have seat numbers. Now, if you go to a Breeza Mall in Davao City, yes. If you go to SM Lanang in Davao City, yes. But if you're going to SM Ecoland or you're just going to like Gazana Mall, they don't have seat arrangements like that. But also in SM Lanang, they have the IMAX theater. You're not gonna repeat a movie in the IMAX theater. I'll tell you right now. That's like a 200, 400 peso ticket. You're not gonna watch that movie more than once. You better make sure you're on time for that one. But as far as assigned seats, it does depend on where you go. But most of the time, they'll let you sit in and watch the movie a second time. But that, in my personal opinion, has only been in Gazano Mall. I haven't tried that ever in a Breeza. I got too much stuff to do. I just watch the movie and go. But there have been some people who have sat inside of movie theaters and watched it more than once, for sure. So that does happen. So Wahudu says it helps when you know what to expect and get educated. I almost blew my stack when they charged me 20% hotel service charge and tax. See, I've never stayed in a hotel in the Philippines like that where they charged me something like that. I never knew that. So I'm glad that you're educating me on something for once. I never really had to stay in hotels inside the Philippines. I mean, luckily for me, I always had a place to stay. So, you know, that's interesting that they charge you 20% hotel service charge and tax. That's why they don't give tips because that's your tip right there. And if you're not prepared for it, you definitely don't know exactly what to expect when you're dealing with you know, different types of services in a country. Like if you go to certain restaurants, you do already have service fees already tacked onto it, so you don't have to worry about that. But so you don't have to worry about tipping or anything. Most of that stuff is already in there for you. So if it's not, I don't know. Tipping is something that's a whole different story. My man John Joe says yes, we had assigned seats. Like I said, John Jones, what mall did you go to, or what movie theater did you go to in Davao, more specifically, that you had assigned seats? I know that they have them in Abriza, and I know that they have them in. I know, like I said, I know they have them in Davao. I mean, I know that they have them in Abriza, and I know that they have them in SM Lanang. But I mean, I still think that in most of those theaters they'll let you sit in twice though. I remember more specifically, I was able to sit into a what was I saying? I was able to sit in a movie more than once. But again, like I said, it does depend on the movie theater you go to. For those that are coming into the chat, I appreciate you coming through and spending some time with the good doctor today. We got about 18 watching, about 18 or 19 of you guys watching right now. Definitely make sure you get the likes up on this video. Dr. Mike would be highly appreciative of that. Again, anybody looking to make any donations to the BOOTYLOO Fund, by all means, you already know how to do so. But of course, Dr. Mike is happy that you come through and spend some time with the good doctor today. Definitely make sure you check out the IPA shirts. They are there at your disposal. But you're right, John Jones. At Abriza Mall, they do have assigned seats. I think I've watched a movie more than once there. I think. I can't remember what movie it was, but I think I did sit through it more than once. But again, this is not happening in all malls, guys. I just want you to understand that. But there are certain theaters that will allow you to sit in there and watch the movie more than once. I've seen guys fall asleep in the movie theater, wake up, dude just went there to take a nap, I guess, because he was in there chilling. I've seen it on multiple occasions, so it's not uncommon. I'll say that. I'm just checking out something real quick, guys. Give me a minute. Bet. All right. So if any of you guys have any questions or anything you want to add to the topic today, by all means, the chat is open, ladies and gentlemen. It's open for you guys. And for anybody who catches the replay of this particular live stream, I appreciate you listening through to the replay. It's been a hell of a fun time for me. And I want you guys to understand that this would not be anything without you. Okay? This channel would not be anything without you, even those who catch the replays. We love you sincerely. Make sure you keep the live chat open so that you can keep up with the topic of conversation in the chat. That would definitely make it easier for you guys to be able to keep up with what I'm trying to say or the comments that I'm reading back in the chat box. Okay. And with that being said, guys, I think I'm going to hold on. Okay. Somebody hit me a notification on some bullshit. Okay. Sorry, guys. With that being said, I think that I've tackled every single thing that I possibly can about checking in your first world mentality at the airport. I don't want my streams to be super long, because sometimes people they get bored trying to listen to it on the playback and they won't make it all the way through. I want you guys to make it all the way through from beginning to end for sure. Oh, Tony, great question, brother. I was just about to shut it down. He says, "What Western mentality should we keep?" Well, damn. That's $1 million question. What Western mentality should you keep? Um, the first thing that comes to mind is your ability to be alert. I often say that you should get rid of the whole mean mugging people and looking at people like you want to kill them all the time, but should always keep your alertness. If you are an alert individual, be on your P's and Q's. That is probably the one thing that I can honestly say you need to keep, because it is a third world country, and you definitely want to make sure that you are not screwed over in any way, shape, or form. So you definitely need to keep that about you. Um, it seems weird. I like to say this for a lot of people. If you're a natural skeptic, or you're naturally skeptical of things that are too good to be true, that's definitely something that I would keep too. I'm not saying that you need to just question everything, but you just got to make sure that you're not going to be in a situation where you're taken advantage of. All right. I mean, first world mentalities, man, that can mean a bunch of different things. First world mentality can mean many, many things. I mean, there are certain first world mentalities that I feel like I would rather you not bring with you, but that, in my opinion, is one that I believe for sure you should bring with you. Just the natural skepticism and always making sure that you're alert and on your P's and Q's. All right. Like I said, don't be a jackass, but just, make sure that you're on top of your game. That would be the best one for me to, say. Exactly. Like my man World Traveler says, survival tactics, those are the ones you keep with you. Got to know how to survive. Third world country, this ain't your home, bro. You ain't got mommy and daddy up the street. You can't call a relative to come bail you out with the quickness, man. You're halfway around the world. So you need to make sure that you know how to keep yourself grounded, keep yourself focused, and definitely keep yourself from being put into situations that could be detrimental to your, be a detrimental outcome, okay? Um John Jones brings up a great point. Never going into new places alone. I like that one. That's definitely a first world mentality thing. I mean, you wouldn't go down a street, a dark street by yourself, would you? So you would definitely want to make sure you keep that one with you as well. I agree with that. My man Don Harvey says, "Does this work?" What exactly do you mean by this? I need to explain, what does this mean? Because that could mean anything. We talked about a couple of things in the last few minutes, so just let me know what you mean. Yes, world traveler, definitely survival tactics and financial skills. Make sure you bring that with you. I kind of feel like that's something you should keep with you, but just in case you need need to be told of the first world mentalities to keep, survival tactics and financial skills are definitely top two at least. They definitely make two of the top five. There's a couple of a couple of other things. Got to know how to protect yourself. Got to be able to protect yourself, and I'm not talking about survival skills wise. Wrap it up, people. That's one thing that I will say. I think that's one that we overlooked. And that's what I'm gonna tell you right now. Wrap it up, people. Aside from survival tactics, being able to, watch your own back, and aside from the financial skills, bring common sense with you. That's the one. The first world mentality that you do need to bring with you is common sense. Guys who think that AIDS doesn't exist in the Philippines, so they feel like they could just run up into anything without protecting themselves, without, putting your little raincoat on when you about to go out into the rain, or, not, putting on the Jimmy hat to keep yourself safe. I don't know what you, bro. I don't know what you. So definitely make sure you know how to protect yourself. That's actually the biggest one I could ever come up with. Because I know a lot of you guys come over here just to get you some anyways. Duh. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like we're talking to a bunch of children, man. This is almost an 18 and older channel. So, I mean, I feel like I'm talking to adults. And for those of you guys who come into the country thinking you're just going to be able to bang out anything that you want to without any repercussions, especially if you don't protect yourself, put your raincoat or your hoodie on, put your Jimmy hat, whatever you want to call it, that's the common sense that I kind of feel like most foreigners should know, but sometimes they just overlook and forget. That kind of sucks. Really does. John Jones says, be one day millionaire like the locals. All right. Oh, Don Harvey, I missed your message, my brother. Just send it again. Yeah. I don't know why it disappeared. I didn't see it at all. It never came up. So just ask the question again, and I'll try to make sure that I answer it the best of my abilities. Again, we got a couple of people watching. I appreciate you guys coming through and spending some time with the good doctor today. Has been a fun one. Probably people are got their own things going on today. But guys, I wanted to make sure that I invited you. I cordially, I don't know why I need to invite you, but I want you guys to come through and celebrate your birthday with your boy. My birthday is on November 17th, so that's a Saturday. So for some reason, I'm going live on Saturday. I should probably be doing something else, but I'd rather be spending my time with a bunch of you guys. I just want to have a birthday celebration with you guys, a celebration live stream, showing love to the family and everything like that. So on November 17th, it's going to be scheduled so that you guys can know, as long as I make sure that I schedule it in advance, not too far in advance, but probably just the day or the week of my birthday. I'm going to schedule it. So Saturday, November 17th, probably your time in the Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go live. I don't know. That may be a Friday. Shit. Something like that. But anyways, I'm definitely going to celebrate my birthday with you guys. So I hope that you guys can make it there. Just come through and show your boy some love. Just say happy birthday, Dr. Mike, and you can leave. Whatever you want to do. But I'm going to have a topic. I'm going to have a topic about celebrating your birthdays in the Philippines. That's going to be the topic that night. I'm going to tell you why I don't like it and stuff like that. You guys are going to enjoy it for sure. So definitely make sure that you stay tuned for that particular live stream. November 17th. I know it's 15, 17, at least 17, 20 days out. But I definitely want to make sure that you guys know in advance that Dr. Mike is celebrating his birthday, November 17th. And I'm going to go live with you guys for a while. Then, of course, I'm going to go out and spend some time with my lady. You know how it goes. But yeah, man, definitely show some love to your boy that day. World Traveler says November 17th is his younger brother's birthday. He got my car for a present. Damn, man. Shit, I wish I was your brother. Shit, I wish I could get a car for a birthday. That would be dope. But I already got one, so I'm good. But yeah, like I said, man, I'm just happy that, your boy is closer to getting one more year under his belt, man. That's all I care about. Don Harvey. Okay, I'm gonna read your question. He says, my Filipina passed away 9 months ago. I'm sorry to hear that. He says, so I'm going ahead with our plan. We'll stay in Carmela North Point. Maybe we have a beer if you drink. Godspeed. Okay. He said, heading to Mabini Tagum, waiting for my visa. Oh, the SRRV visa. Can you explain to me what the SRRV visa is? Because off the top of my head, I can't hear it. But again, I'm sorry for your loss, man. Um, just hit me up in the email, my brother. Check the email. If you don't know what the email is, I'll type it here. Just reach out to me, and we'll try to set up. If we can, we'll try to set up a time to link up a little bit. That's not a problem. But yes, that's my email right there, man. Just hit me up in the email, and we'll see if we can link up if we got time. Okay. But if you're in Davao, man, I hope you enjoy it. I know Mabini is a very, very beautiful place. I love Tagum City. It's just a smaller version of Davao. If you think that, oh, it's a retirement visa. Okay, thank you. Because I'm just not at retirement level, so I'm not familiar with every visa that they have in the Philippines. But yeah, man, just reach out to me, man. I'll see if we can link up before you make it out there. Or if you're on your way back to Davao, we'll try to catch it then. Well, eyes on, man. I hope you're there to celebrate your birthday and enjoy too. If it's January 5th, hope that you enjoy it as well. Okay. All right, guys. I think that I've touched on. My man Don Harvey says you can stay in the Philippines with perks. He says I'm a veteran. I love my salute to all my veterans, man. I'm telling you right now, my father's a retired vet too, man. So I got nothing but love for all of my people who serve in the military. Like I said, my brothers in the military, both of my brothers are in the military. Every family member, uncles, grandfathers, they all served, man. So I got nothing but respect for my people who serve. Salute to you guys 100%. I'm glad that you guys definitely served, and I feel like you are entitled to everything that you get from the VA, and you better go ahead and just get your 100%. Go ahead and make it happen. Teamwork make the dream work. All right, this they owe it to you. Oh, there's a cheaper visa than that for veterans? Probably. All right, I'm gonna let you guys talk that one out. But you know what I'm about to do right now, guys? I think that we have touched on everything that we possibly can. My man Tony Towers has definitely asked the question that kind of stimulated my mind a little bit. He was asking me about the types of mentalities that you need to keep as far as the first world mentality is. That's what's up. I mean, I appreciate that question, man. I'm glad that you brung that one up just before I was about to go off, too. So my man Deadly Miss says I'll be in Passay November 9th. Hi all. What's going on, man? I appreciate you spending some time with the good doctor today and showing your love to the chat. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and shout you guys out real quick. I feel like we've touched on everything. Unless you guys ask me a question at the end, Dr. Mike is gonna close it after I shout out everybody. So Deadly Mist, I know you may have been a little late to the game, maybe you've been on the whole time, but I appreciate you showing some love. Don Harvey, again, we're sorry for your loss, my brother, and I hope that we do get a chance to link up. World Traveler, appreciate you spending some time. As always a member of the family. Team BGC for sure. John Jones, hashtag Team Devasteady in this bitch. Much love to you, my dude. And I appreciate you coming through and showing some love to the good doctor today. Always a pleasure to have you on. My man Tony Towers, man, I appreciate you, my brother. Always happy to have you on, man. You were the first person when I first started doing my streams. You showed your boy some love the first time, and I'll never forget that. Thank you. Appreciate you for always being an avid supporter of the team. You definitely make this worth it for me, guys. So thank you. Oahu dude, thank you very much, my brother. Derek, as always, avid supporter of the channel. Always a pleasure to have you on, my brother. I'm glad that you can make this one. Jay Jones, appreciate you coming through and showing some love, man. I don't know if this is your first time on the Dr. Mike TV channel, but I appreciate you spending some time with the good doctor. Thank you very much for taking a little bit of your time to kick it with your boy today. And again, that goes for all of you guys. If you guys want to go ahead and check out, I do not mind because all I'm doing is reading and shouting you guys out. Anti-Gravity, I don't know if you're still with me, my brother, but thank you for dropping another investment to the BOOTYLOO Fund. Thank you very much. And I'll definitely make sure that I get that live stream set up for you, because I definitely feel like that's one worth talking about. And I'm gonna definitely try to see if I can get my man BGC Mike, Mr. World Traveler himself on that one. Like I said, we were gonna try to put together a little financial live stream for you guys too. Of course, World Traveler, he's definitely he got the business acumen, man. He's got a resume that could fuck some shit up. So yeah, we're definitely gonna bring my boy Mike on, and we're gonna have that live stream. Eyes on, always a pleasure, my dude. Appreciate you spending some time with the good doctor. Go. Thank you. I don't know if you're still with me, but I'm definitely gonna go over there and see if you are still live once I finish here. My man Fred Funky Town, appreciate you showing some love to your brother today. Black Pablo, as always, appreciate you, my G. Elijah Robertson, thank you, my brother, for spending some time with the good doctor. And I think my boy David Webb is the last one. Nope. Sorry, my boy David, as always, appreciate you coming through. Go Pittsburgh. You know what's up. Appreciate you spending some time with the family. Tim H, thank you. As always, I appreciate you spending some time here with us. And of course, B617, man, always a pleasure to have you on. And it's always good to have you guys as members of the family. All right. With that being said, I think we are officially good to go. All right. My man World Traveler says main thing is patience and keep calm in the Philippines. That's pretty much the general synopsis that we can come up with when it comes to checking in your first world mentality at the airport. All right. So with that being said, everybody is good to go. Dr. Mike is officially out. Shout out to my boy Andy, man. I see you in the building, my brother. I appreciate you coming through, man. I love you as always, man. With that being said, Dr. Mike is officially out. Alis nako paalam, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.